Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Fan Experience Podcast. Thank you all for rejoining us live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn Live, Twitter, and Twitch. As always, I am your host, Mike Katos. Alongside me is my co-host, Rick Molina. Rick, how we doing?
Doing well, Mike. What a tremendous weekend in sports. Crazy end of the game plays. Historic milestones, so much that went on, and I just can't wait to get started with it. So, let's take it away.
Yeah. So, for all of you who joined us on Thursday, or for those who were not able to catch Thursday's episode, our guest was Ashley Hart, and she was the founder of She Plays, and she's making a fantasy sports platform that focuses on women's sports, and we were talking a lot about women equality in sports. And what the leagues have to do to really bring everything together and make everyone equal pay, equal decision making. And not even 12 hours later,
yeah,
the Miami Marlins signed a Asian American woman named Kim Ng to their general manager position, and she is now the first woman general manager in professional major league sports. And, so there it goes, let's start breaking that barrier down right now. And, I believe Jeter and her had history,
yep.
and knew each other. So, I think that played a part, but, they say that she's, very astute in her job and her analytical skills and her, everything that she does. And she was the right person for the job. Gender does not apply. If you're the right person for the job, you should get the job. And, it's great to see that barrier is starting to come down a little bit. But, we had to make that honorable mention because it's huge news, and it just came, a few hours after our discussion on, that it had to come soon. So Rick, let's hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, man, that was tremendous. Exactly what I was thinking about when it came out. Like the day before, we were just talking to Ashley. Like, when will it happen? Right? When will be the moment that we get the breakthrough, that the ceiling gets cracked and somebody gets the opportunity? Right? We're talking whether it's she's talking about we were talking about minor league sports, and sure enough, Derek Jeter, trendsetter, former captain of the Yankees, owns the Marlins. All of a sudden, makes a bold move and hires Kim Ng, and And she, you look at her resume, and if it was a dude, you'd be like, why wasn't this person hired, 10 years ago? But she's perfect. She was assistant general manager of the Yankees under Brian Cashman at the age of 29. Then she joined the Dodgers as vice president, assistant general manager in 2001. She interviews in 2005. They don't give her the job. They kept her on as an assistant. She's interviewed in other places: the Mariners, the Padres, the Angels, the Giants. And then she leaves the Dodgers to go to VP of baseball operations, and then works under Joe Torre over there. And then soon enough, and then here you go, man. She gets hired for the job, and congratulations to her. And that's a great hire. I mean, she has so much experience in baseball. She's worked with the best organizations, the Dodgers, the Yankees. I mean, she's a winner, and she's now going to help that organization. And what they're putting together over there is amazing. And think about this, the way that team is building. If she can now take them over the top, man, and win a World Series, what that will do to sports as in general. And I think this is just the beginning, because I think pretty soon Becky Hammond's going to get a job coaching in the NBA. I think it's a matter of just it's going to happen. I think next season, I think she's going to get a job here or there. And this is great. And it's a great sign for young girls out there. You have 2 daughters, young ladies out there who want to, succeed in the sports industry, who think that because they're a woman, they can't succeed in these high level positions. You know what? Yes, you can. You can get out there. You can love your sport. You can be passionate in sport, and you can thrive and succeed and get these top roles. So congratulations to her. That was a great moment, and a good sign for things to come as change comes in these sports industries.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
If they're not there to see them performing at these high levels,
Right.
then nobody's gonna notice it. They're not gonna think twice about it. But if they,
Yeah.
see, this accomplished female, leading the charge, to really a scrappy bunch with the Marlins. Like, no matter who's on that team, like they just fight. It's actually pretty aggravating as a Mets fan.
Listen, you got the big guy coming in with the big buddy. You'll be okay.
Yeah,
but she fits their mold, right? Jeter's a winner. He has that winner mentality. Their front office has that sort of Yankee winning mentality, and she has that winning mentality, man. She's a winner. Where she goes, she wins. And so I think that's a great addition. She's going to put together, fill out that ball club real well. And I'm telling you, man, the way they're going, don't be surprised if they win one.
Yeah. So, speaking of winning mentality and winners, Theo Epstein is hanging it up, I heard today.
Yeah, he did. He resigned from the Cubs. He said he's going to take a year off. I was listening somewhere. I think I was listening to the fan on the radio where they were saying he's thinking of he wants to go into ownership. And so the question is, what ownership group is going to accept him? Where is he going to buy? I don't know. But that guy, I mean, he's one of the youngest GMs, 30 years old. He broke the curse of the Red Sox, broke the curse of the Cubs. Mm-hmm. I mean, wherever he goes next, I think it's going to be a project that needs like rebuilding. He's going to win there. I mean, the guy's just a winner. Yeah. But we'll see where he goes. I mean, he has a lot of options right now. It doesn't hurt to take a year off and kind of figure it out. But I think he's going to probably want to go into that next tier, which is ownership or something like that. So, I'm telling you, wherever he goes, he's going to win. Because that guy's just a winner.
Yeah. So we have a lot to get to in the NFL, but we will hold that off until after our guest because it's going to bring us, a lot of content to cover. Yeah. But right now we will take a quick word from our sponsor and have our guest join us in a few minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So as always, the support for the fan experience is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
It's come to that time of year where you're starting to go out less, man, and you're like, man, it's time to hack it down there, man. It's like it's getting crazy down there. So you know what? You get in the shower. That thing works in the shower, no problem. Has a long battery, no problem. And next thing you know, you come out, it's fresh as a baby. Truly, truly remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we say it's premium, we mean premium. Like Rick said, it's a 90-minute battery life, that waterproof technology. Even got an LED light, which illuminates grooming areas for a closer and more precise trimming. Yep. Got a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology. And the charging stand, is a perfect way to show your mower off loud and proud. Because of this intelligently designed stand, it's a convenient charging dock powered by USB.
Yeah, guys, if for all our viewers, if you're listening to me speak right now, and I want you to listen, I want you to experience this firsthand for yourself because it's just incredible. I mean, let's get that bush to tush clean. I mean, seriously, you get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FANEXPERIENCE at manscaped.com. Our goal here is to make your testes your besties.
Listen, guys, you got to go out and get this. But girls, whoever's listening, the holiday season is coming up. You looking for the perfect gift for your partner? Well, we got the perfect package for his perfect package. It's the Perfect Package 3.0. Like Manscaped is the #1 recommended gift all year long. And it's the best for below the belt grooming and can also be used on any part of the body. Hairy chest or back, look no further. Hair down there, the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0, designed to reduce cuts, make for a smooth trim. In addition, you will also get liquid formulations such as the Crop Preserver, which is ball deodorant, and Crop Reviver ball toner, and reduced chafing boxer briefs. These formulations are all vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, and paraben-free, so your manhood is in good hands. So save 20% off plus free shipping with the code FANEXPERIENCE at manscaped.com. Give your testes the besties with Manscaped now.
And those boxer briefs are real comfortable.
Absolutely. It is. I'm wearing them right now. and I'm not going to show anybody.
Yeah, hey, this is a family show.
Yeah, so easy. All right. Now, joining us on the program, he's got a storied career in the sports and entertainment industry.
That he does.
Former college football player, and has worked for places such as the NFL, Disney, and he is an author, and he is the founder of GamePlanU. Right now joining us, Mr. Rob Thompson.
Hey guys, well, that's really hard to follow.
This is why we do it right before the interviews, because we need to amp you up a little bit. Our guests need to be amped up just a tad.
Oh gosh, I feel like I got a shower now. After that one, gee whiz.
Hey, we try to add a little spice to the show. You know what it is.
It's a fun loving show, and we have a lot of fun with it. I mean, we can't complain. It's been a lot of fun. This is episode 35, and we've had a blast.
It's awesome.
And talking to amazing people like you, and all the guests that we've had. It's just been amazing. So thank you for joining us. We truly appreciate it. Obviously, we became acquainted earlier this year, with playing the field and joining the GamePlanU program. So I appreciate you for that. But let's start at the beginning before we get over to what we got going on now. So where did it all start for you? Your love of sports, and where did you get hooked on the games?
No, I don't know if it was like I don't never really consider myself a huge sports fan. I always just I was always just a participant for the most part. My dad never even watched sports. I know most of us become fans because of our dad. I grew up with three sisters, and I grew up in a really blue collar town, in New Haven County. And it was kind of like, you play, you fight, you do all those things, you play some sports. And I just realized, I enjoyed it enough. It was a way for me to get to college and hopefully get on with a career and get the heck out of there. It's really came down to that. It was pretty simple. But you kind of figure out what you like doing, and you have some self-awareness, and you keep going. And, I got lucky, to be honest with you. I got lucky. So a lot of fun during those days. It happened so long ago, I don't even know if it even happened anymore. So,
I listened to your show last week. You were on with Ashley, our previous guest. So, small world.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up watching, you love the U.S. Naval Academy and team, and then you also played, like you said, it was a blue collar town, not much sports going on in Connecticut. So you ended up playing for, like a junior college up there, right?
No, I said it was like a junior college. No, it was. I played at a small D2 school, University of New Haven, and a lot of us ended up there. A lot from New York City area. It was at that time you could be a Prop 48, which I was. I grew up and I still have it, dyslexia, so I wasn't a great student, and so we ended up there. It just happened that. We had some great coaches. We had some great players. It was like the island of misfit toys. It was all these guys that were all everything in high school, but couldn't go Division I because of their grades. So we ended up there. So anywhere else in the country, we would have ended up in a junior college, just because there's not a lot of junior colleges, or even in the Northeast. We ended up at a Division II school. So. My line coach was Tony Sperano, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins in Oakland. That was my line coach. And our head coach was Chris Palmer, who went on to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns and coached for the Giants for many years. And, so we had great players. There out of the group that I came through with, 5 of us went to the NFL. That doesn't really happen that much. There's 25 guys out of that college that went to the NFL and 2 NFL head coaches. It's just by geographically, we're in a great location. There's not a lot of places for kids from the island and the city and the boroughs. If you're a nitwit academically, where do you go? So, and we kind of we all ended up at the University of New Haven. Our baseball team had 90 guys go to Major League Baseball. 90. Wow. That's not 9. That's 90. You know,
Wow.
yeah. Cy Young winner, Steve Bedrosian, first round picks. It's just because of where we were in the country. You know, it just kind of ended up being, you know, a place that we all landed, and so we're pretty happy with the way that things turned out. So, anyways, so that was my journey. Yeah, no, so Naval Academy is where I wanted to go to school, where I wanted to play. You know, I had a good high school career. You know, I was all-state in a couple different sports. I was an All-American linebacker, and I was I just couldn't do it academically, so I ended up there. But I played 44 games in college. I played 22 professional games, and I never aspired to play in the NFL. It just kind of everything just happened for me, and I stayed healthy for 18 years. You know, so I'm just lucky, man. You got luck of the Irish on that one. You know, just lucky.
Yeah, Rob. So first of all, as a once a Marine, I was a Marine. So once a Marine, always a Marine. So what was it? I'm curious about what was it about the Naval Academy? You said I want to play there. Like I want to go to the U.S. Naval Academy.
It was the Army Navy game. You know, watching it as a kid, there was something about it, man. There was just something magical about it, and that was a place that I wanted to go. And luckily, I got recruited by them as well. My junior year, my sophomore year. And I wanted to go there, and I couldn't do anything. My father thought I could just go join the Navy and play for him. He had no idea. I'm like, no, Dad, I can't get in. But no, I just love and respect what those guys did, especially guys coming out of the academies. They're special human beings, and you know, they're special kids, special players, and I just have nothing but love for them. And it just wasn't in the cards for me. But, you know, I ended up meeting my wife in college and at our school, and been married 30 years, 4 kids later. So life has a way of taking you where you need to be. Sometimes you don't see it coming, right? So,
yeah. So you mentioned that you ended up in the NFL. Like your goal was, I guess you wasn't expecting to go to the NFL. Tell us about that experience. Like you get to the National Football League and you're like, wow. Like, this is something that I didn't expect. Tell us about that.
Well, I was with the Patriots, and it was in the old stadium and Gillette Stadium. And
it
was awful. I was only there. I got signed as a free agent after the draft. I just went up for a weekend. Yeah. You know, in the spring, right after the draft, they brought a lot of guys in, and that's when they signed the free agents to summer contracts. I didn't get signed to a summer contract. So I went home, back to a party, and you know, a couple weeks later, I end up signing to go over to Europe and play for a year, and had a time of my life over there, and it worked out for the best. But you know, I guess things in life when you don't, you know, it wasn't not that it wasn't a goal of mine. I was really grateful to be there, grateful to experience it, I was just a great memory in my life now, you know. So I'd never wanted to be that guy that, you know, I was the last one cut. I blew my knee out, you know. It's just, you know, I went further than I ever thought I would go, and I have a lot of great memories from it and a lot of great friendships from it. And, you know, hopefully I left a good mark doing it as well. And so it's been fun watching my son play college football this past, the last 4 years at University of Albany, and that's and play for one of my teammates in college, Keith Dudzinski, who's unfortunately up on the University of Michigan staff now, but so Dud was a defensive coordinator over at UAlbany when he played for him. So life comes full circle sometimes, and that was a really fun time for us.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. So obviously it's great that you went to Europe. How is that, that football market out there? How engaged are they?
I was there in 1990, and it was the year between the World League and NFL Europe. So the NFL still had its claws in it. I played in Great Britain, and so they sponsored it and they operated. It was phenomenal. It was kind of like, I guess the best way to compare it to is kind of like what it's kind of like what the NHL sort of is like over here. In your market, people know who you are. Yeah. But outside of that, unless you're one or two big names, England and Germany, they love it. It's fanatical over there.
It was the London Monarchs, right? That was the name of the team?
No, the London Monarchs was the name of the team. Yeah, but it wasn't the team that I played on. It was actually the British League. Yeah, the NFL managed that 1 year. It was 1990. So then they transitioned over NFL Europe the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's a huge following. I mean, high school players. So, with my job at the NFL, I did all international for them for the youth development programs, which included high school and college. So we got a ton of kids out of there, out of the UK, out of Germany, out of Japan, and then globally, it's, there's everybody speaks the football language. You can't translate, pass patterns. It's all football English.
Yeah.
So anywhere you go, there was never a translation issue at all with anybody that played on our teams and stuff. Everybody spoke football English. Now they swore at you and you didn't know what they're saying, but besides that,
yeah. And so you mentioned that you worked for the NFL. You helped out the youth youth development. Was that like your first thing after your playing career, or did you do something before? Whether it was the sports industry or not, and how you got your big break in that.
Yeah, I coached at Boston University. So, like I mentioned, Tony Sperano was the offense coordinator there. I came in and was a line coach, and then I started a scouting service. So I realized that the day-to-day coaching wasn't for me. Came back home, married my sweetheart and my college sweetheart, and I started this scouting service for high school football called East Coast Recruiting. I ended up selling it about 18 months later. And I worked I was a criminal justice major, so I got a job as a state juvenile office for the state of Connecticut. So I worked in the state courthouse with, the 15-year-old criminals, and it was fun. It was all kids that I went to college with. One thing led to another. I ended up reuniting with the Patriots because they were doing the pilot program for the new NFL play football program, which was NFL flag, punt, pass, and kick, and all that. So they sent out letters, and somehow I got one at my mom's house, and it was really looking for volunteers to volunteer for this new youth initiative. And I said, what the hell? I went up and did it, had no preconceived notions. I just went up and we went up to Biddeford, Maine. We spent the weekend up there doing 5-on-5 flag football. We had to go for training first with a bunch of British guys who were soccer guys who taught us about, forget what you know about football. We're going to teach you everything you need to know about coaching kids. And light bulbs went off. And it just so happened to be the town they sent me. And there's 25 different satellite camps throughout this is the first NFL flag program. You guys have seen it on TV, right?
Yeah.
For boys and girls 6 to 14.
Yeah.
It's the very first program. And they sent me up to Biddeford, Maine. Just so happened to be the same town that the new director of the youth program grew up in. So he ended up going up for the weekend with the NFL films crew. I had no idea. So I was kind of the head coach, so to speak. And I have 5 different other assistant coaches with me. Some of them are former Patriot guys. And we ran this camp all weekend, and we went back down to Foxborough Stadium and was down there for, it was Monday Night Football, and we had this big celebration. We had over 2,000 kids in the stadium, and I met some great families. And that Tuesday, I get a call from Don Garber, who's now the commissioner of the Major League Soccer. He ended up he was the president of the time of NFL Properties. And this guy who was on that, who was the director, Scott Lancaster, called me up and said, "Come on down to New York City. We want to talk to you." And they said, "Hey, with your background, of scouting, the scouting service you had, the coaching that you've done, the kid, and that you work with kids, we want to bring you in to help us run this program and develop all the curriculum, train all the coaches." So that's what I did. I set up all the NFL flag leagues in the United States for 6 years, and then internationally for the final 2 or 3, and did coaching clinics and tournaments, and put them all together. Did all the high school programs. Then I went to work, became a GM in the Arena Football League after that. Yeah, so I wanted to run a team. Yeah.
What's that experience? The Arena Football League is a wild league. Yeah. I mean, they throw the ball all over the place. What was that experience like to being a GM and running a team and making those day-to-day decisions for a team?
It was awesome because we didn't have anything. It was an expansion team. So we had to come up with the branding, the logo. We had to sign the head coach. I had to sign all the players. I had to come up with the marketing, the ticket sales, the sponsorship sales, community outreach. So we did it all. The good thing is I had a foundation from how to build a brand and how to build something from scratch with the NFL, because it basically built that program from scratch.
Yeah.
So I had an idea on the community piece of it. And then the football piece was, for me, was the same, because I was scouting in the European League when I was, at the juvenile center and in my scouting service. So I knew what kind of kids I wanted to put together. The same kind of kids I sent over to Europe and Australia was a kid with a chip on his shoulder, not necessarily a kid from Syracuse that started, or that played special teams that you usually get. I wanted a kid that played at Colgate, that lit it up, right? Or the kid that played at Hofstra, or I wanted a kid that played at, I wanted a kid that was still didn't play at that level. When you get kids from the Division I level, they've already played. That's their NFL. So what else is there left? Give me the kid that played like me. I had a little chip on my shoulder. I want to prove everybody wrong that I didn't deserve I shouldn't have been playing down at that level. So that's what we went after. We went after kids from Colgate, Lafayette, Ivy League schools, that kid that maybe, was a fifth-year kid at Boston College, and we won 34 games in 2 years. We won 34 and 4 in 2 years. We ran the table from scratch. It's not a good story. It's not a fun story, but we had our press conference. The name of the team was originally going to be the Albany Warbirds. There was a team up there, the Albany Firebirds, for years, right?
Yeah.
And very famous. They won the World Championship Marine Football. Then they left. They left the next year and went to Indianapolis. So the same owner brings an expansion team in. Yeah. And our press conference was on 9/11.
Wow.
We were driving down. It took me about 3 or 4 years to get approvals for logos and trademark. And we were driving down to Albany at about 8:30 in the morning, and we got the call saying Albany's in lockdown. This before the first plane hit. Because it came right over to Albany, the first plane. And I was like, I got commercials going to run on NBC Sports at 9:00. Once we announce the name of our team, they're going to run all day long that are commercials with planes dropping bombs on buildings. Yeah, the Albany. Yeah.
Right. So,
So I was like, oh my God, what do we do? So that was my kickoff. And then, obviously it's what happened. We didn't know if we were going to have a season.
Yeah.
We didn't even have players signed. We didn't sell any tickets yet. And this was September, and we kicked off in March, and we had to build the whole team and all that. When we finally got approval to start the league up again in November, and we scrambled and we put a team on the field in March, and we ran the table 2 years. And it was an unbelievable experience. And that led me over to the Walt Disney Company after that. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: Did you think at that point that you could transition to the National Football League and be a general manager there, or was that something that never crossed your mind there?
Never crossed my mind. So when there was a time when Coach Palmer and Coach Brano were with the Cleveland Browns, and they wanted me to come in and they offered me a job as a regional scout. And they call it 25 for 25. You're 25 years old, you make $25,000. So it's called the 25 for 25. And I was like, well, I'm 30 and I got 3 kids. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
That math doesn't add for me. Yeah. So I kind of changed. I stayed with it. And when I went over to Disney, I said, man, I don't know at this point now if I change gears and I go over to the Walt Disney Company, I leave football, is it going to be kind of career suicide for me?
Right.
And I just remember like my wife saying, you go there for a year or two, it'll be good on the resume. You're going to learn something. And 10 years later, and I went over there for 1 year, 2 years. And then I stayed, got a nice pension from them. And that was about it, so it was a good change. I'm glad I did it because there's a lot of similarities and a lot of things we did because we were mostly on family-facing properties. So we did everything with Disney Channel, Radio Disney, Disney XD, and a lot of collaboration. So I did all the national sales sponsorship for all those properties, and it was a lot of fun. So it was kind of cool. And you lift your head up, and you're like, man, I've been doing this for 30 years now. Let me go do something else. And so I bought. the legendary 3-on-3 sports properties, Hoop It Up Basketball. I think if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we bought Hoop It Up Basketball. We bought Kick It 3v3 Soccer. We bought NFL Air It Out.
Okay.
And then we bought Spring Fling, which is a lacrosse property, and we ran that for 4 years. And we did some. We were running the qualifiers, United States, for 3-on-3 basketball for FIBA and USA basketball, and then so we had that long term. We knew the Olympics was coming, and then we sold it to Kevin Garnett and Big Ticket Sports. So,
wow.
so we got out of it in 2016, and then I started GamePlanU. So, yeah. So GamePlanU started, and then we met Mike about 6 months ago, and and I went back to my alma mater, University of New Haven, to help them go Division I, which we're doing now, and building facilities, and it's in my hometown, and so life comes full circle. Like I said, you just come right back around. You pick your head up, you don't realize half the things that you get into and you've done, so.
Yeah, I mean, when I said storied career in sports and entertainment, I didn't realize it was all that. That's it's amazing stuff. So you mentioned GamePlanU, but what came first, GamePlanU or your book?
Yeah, the book did. The book really led me down that path. I needed to do something. I started a podcast and interview with influencers, and it was just a way for me to get in front of executives, really, with North American Sports Group, looking for sponsors, and then I was getting a lot of people who were reaching out to me based on the content I was putting out. Hey, could you help me with my career? So finally, and I had a lot of calls from professors and other podcasts. So finally I said, let me put everything down in writing, because I'm forgetting half the stuff. And I came up with my own little process of, you get your 10 goals, the things you need to do. And I said, here's a guy who I had my goal in life was to be a truck driver. I just, my bar wasn't set very high. So, I just kind of figured it out. I put it in paper. I said, there's a lot of people that want to do things. Well, a lot of people want to, I've always been an executor. I've always been a guy that kind of jumps into it and done it, and I never worried about the things that I didn't have, not enough money, not big enough, not whatever, not smart enough. I just did it. And you pick your head up and you'll realize, holy shit, did I really do all that stuff? Yeah, anything's possible, right? So I said, I'm going to write a book. And I was really at a low point, to be honest with you, because I wasn't really ready to sell the business, and I didn't want to work for anybody again. And there's other things there, and I was like, I just want to write a book to kind of clear my head a little bit and maybe put this out on. And it was the first time I ever wrote that I had dyslexia, so I kind of told my family and friends were like, what? And no, what? We always thought you were just a moron. We had no idea. So, that was it. So I wrote a book, and it was really just a legacy I wanted to have for my kids. And, just to say, because, 99% of the people that you meet will always say they want to write a book. Well, then do it, and I mean, it's more of a guide than a book. It's only like 100 pages long, but it's still a book. And somehow, because no one else probably published a book in my category, somehow it went number one in Amazon. It was my aunts and uncles that bought all the books. and at school in India bought like 500 of them. But
wow,
something like that. I don't know. Maybe I made that number up. But it was a school in India, so it was like, so I was able to say, hey, I had Amazon number one best-selling book for about 3 days, but it was there, So
hey, man, you did it,
right? So there's
all that matters.
I just I hate saying it because there's so many people that are real authors, and but now that I did one, I'm definitely going to do a real one after this, and dive deep a little bit more into the career. But my life right now has been about giving back to the university that gave me a chance when I had nothing else, that I had, no one else. Everybody passed me up, and they're the ones who walked in. It was Coach Sperano walked in and said, hey, I'm your lucky chip, man. I'm your lucky day when I walk into this house, and it turned my life around. And then in business, I've been so lucky and fortunate to be involved with so many great organizations like the NFL and the Walt Disney Company, that I felt that if I could help people like, guys like Mike out and women like Ashley out, to maybe give them a little bit of inspiration, maybe even open up a door and make a contact and make an introduction to them, I remember talking to Mike about a podcast when we first met. I was like, "You got to do a podcast." You're like, "I'm putting one together," and I'm just so proud and happy for you, Mike, that you've done this, and you're putting it together, and you got all designs. You got a sponsor, although it's a little bit R-rated, but you still got a so that's what life is about. And anyway, so. I know I've talked a lot, but I hope I answer some questions.
No, that's great.
You absolutely did. And obviously you were a big driving force in us starting this podcast. Obviously you have a lot of tutorials out there on YouTube with a lot of great and useful information on, getting started. So if anyone out there is watching and wants to get started, please, go and follow Rob on YouTube. Got a lot of great resources. And you mentioned, you're helping out, us startups like myself. And also, we got a question. What do you think the most important thing to do or know if you want to go into the sports industry?
I think you have to really know about what you're good at, Hey, Matthew, thanks for the question. It's not easy, but I think you have to really know what you're good at and go, just focusing on that piece of it. I know I'm kind of lagging here. I think that kind of kicked us off. But Matthew, don't stop pursuing that. Volunteer if you have to, and just keep on chasing it. Degrees don't matter. It's all about the people that you know. So
awesome, thank you. And as far as playing the field, 3 days after I launched my beta, Mike came calling. And, it was joining GamePlanU was, it's a great decision. And, it's opened up our world of connections. And, I'm looking forward to what the future is going to bring. But, you definitely put us on the right path. So, thank you for that. And I'm sure a lot of the other companies, obviously, you got Book It came through there. And obviously they just launched, happy for them. And a lot of other great companies, obviously Ashley's company, Kiss Cam, Max's company, Sports Trace, who's going to go down in the regional finals because everyone here is going to vote at GamePlanU.org/sprint for playing the field after this show is over. But thank you again for that opportunity. Rick, you want to add one?
So the couple final ones for me. So the one takeaway I took from you, Rob, is that it's doing it right. Like if you want to succeed, if you want to get ahead, it's not. I mean, yes, planning is important, but you got to go out and do it, right? You got to go out and just put those fears aside and go out there and just do it, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that. That when things were going well in your life, right, that there's certain things that happen where the people that you surrounded yourself with, your job was good. And when your life kind of sucked, because we all have that moments and you realize there's certain things that you're doing. There's habits that you're doing. Maybe you're drinking too much. Maybe you're sleeping too much. Maybe you're just not into your job because your boss is awful. Change it. I didn't like living up in upstate New York anymore. After 20 years, we were raising kids there. COVID happened. We didn't want to be there anymore. So I sold everything, sold the furniture, and decided I want to have less, but I want to do more. And we moved to Sarasota, Florida.
Nice.
That's what I'm saying right now, right? So you just got to be willing. Don't follow other people's lives and be envious of them. Create one for yourself and let people support you and root for you. And if that's not the case, then this is not a dress rehearsal. This is not, a walk-through practice, man. This is the game. Every day is a game, and you got to get up ready to play. Strap it on and let's go, and there's too many people that are fans, right, in the fan experience. And not enough people get on the field to get in the game. So that's all.
Well said.
And you guys are in the game, man. You're just in the game. People could, the hardest part is doing this stuff is worrying about what your friends and family are going to say about you, right? And you're kind of, once you get over that part of it, then it gets easy because you guys are impacting, you have fans, you're going to build a bigger following, and I love what you guys are doing. I just wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you. And then as the last one for me is, so you got GamePlanU going on. What's next? Like what's Rob Thompson going to come up with next to influence people, to help people, to spread your word of of doing things and sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Invigorate or motivate people to get out there and do things.
Yeah, I'd like to inspire people to know that if they have any challenges in life, which we all have, whether the things that happen when we were kids or with family, or if you have dyslexia or something else, that you could do it too. I mean, the world is set up for us to be successful. It's not set up for us to fail, so you just got to believe in yourself. Amen. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's it. The last part I could say for us with GamePlanU is we're developing a whole online education courses, certification programs within sports technology and entrepreneurship and how those two go together. So, we're getting ready in 2021 to launch that. And we spent the last year just kind of putting pieces together, working with remote internships from college programs and just kind of seeing where the need is in the marketplace. So, it helps that I'm working full time at the university and everybody else on our team. This is just a volunteer thing for all of us. So, it helps us. It gives us time and a runway to kind of figure out where the needs are and putting together services and products that could help everybody. So
awesome. Well, listen, Rob, thank you for coming on, man. That's great stuff. Listen up, everybody. Take note. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. And, obviously I'm looking forward to everything that GamePlanU is going to be doing when we can get out of this, these COVID times. I mean, we got a couple of, trips to Florida down there. So, we got to get those going, but, we're in a pandemic, so we gotta wait for now.
Well, that's the reason why I left New York. You got to come down to Florida because it's like a pirate island down here. You would never. There's no rules down here in Florida. So we'll be waiting for you guys.
I told Mike that I'm going to do my part of the show from Key Biscayne one day. So that's the goal. Yeah,
love it. It's
all right,
best.
Rob.
All right, boy. See you later.
Thank you again.
Rob, thank you, man. Thank you very much. Again.
Have a good night.
You see you.
Take it easy.
That's what it is, man. You just got to do it, dude. You just got to do it.
Just do it.
Do it. Just like Nike says, just do it. But that's an incredible story.
Just do it. That's the hardest part.
That's right, Maddie Wolf.
Denise, thank you for
Denise,
catching the show. Pete, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete. We got to do that action tennis, man. I don't know.
Yes.
We got to jump on that because I'm looking forward to doing that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been lacking on my training.
Hey man, all we need is a helmet, some shin guards, a couple elbow pads, and we're good to go.
Yeah. But I'm a little lighter down below the waist, but thanks to Manscaped and the Lawnmower 3.0.
Yeah, there you go. And by the way, that interview was brought to you by Play the Field Dating. Go to Play the Field Dating now, playthefielddating.com, and find your MVP. If you want to start a softball team, you just want to be part of a sports community, go to playthefielddating.com and join today.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's a very, very storied career, and a lot of great jobs. Obviously helping build that youth program for the NFL.
I was going to ask him if he was part of punt, pass, and kick. If he did that, I wonder if he did that. You think that was part of that?
I think he did. Didn't he mention that one?
I might have.
I thought he mentioned it.
Oh, okay.
I thought he mentioned that one. All right. Well, thanks again for Rob Thompson for coming on. It was a pleasure having him and learning a lot. So let's focus on some of the games from this past weekend in the NFL.
Man.
So how can we start
with the one?
With anything other than the Eagles and Giants, of course. But the Bills and the Cardinals, Josh Allen, who was voted Fox midseason MVP, Fox Sports voted him midseason MVP. So that was a little surprising to see. Yeah. But it was a back and forth battle.
That it was.
Stephon Diggs with half a minute left on the clock catches the go-ahead touchdown.
Yep.
Pretty much puts the Bills in position to win. I got my father-in-law, who's a Bills fan, saying it's not over yet. I'm like, come on, it's 11 seconds left. It's over. Nobody's getting a Hail Mary. And Kyler Murray and unbelievable marvel that he is. He ranges all the way to his left, turns on a dime, and tosses the ball 50 yards down the field And then you got DeAndre Hopkins, who's talked all week about how he's one of the best receivers in the game and he shouldn't be, penalized and yards should count for defensive pass interference. They won't let him do his job. And dude goes up amongst 3 cornerbacks, Tre'Davious White being one of them, and pulls down this Hail Mary. I still can't believe what I'm seeing when I see these replays, but unbelievable ending to that game.
And that was incredible. I remember watching Stephon Diggs beat was it Patrick Peterson on that play that he got right? And I'm thinking, oh, this game's over. But I was like, let me just watch the final drive.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to, but
yeah, you just watch it. And he's moving the ball, and then all of a sudden I watch this play, and I've seen this play, I don't know, at least a good 10 times. Rolls out of the pocket, like you said, to his left, avoids a guy, right? He avoids a guy, stops, turns, and lets it rip. Throws it like 50-something yards down the field. And literally, and there's when you see DeAndre Hopkins catch this ball, like there's 3 guys like on him. It's not like he was by himself. They were on him, and he went up and just took it out of the air. And I remember texting you. I was like, what the? I was like, WTF. I was like, that did not just happen. I was like screaming in my apartment. I was just like, holy sh! I was like, it's an incredible catch, incredible ending to a game. I could not believe that. But that's the greatness of the NFL, man. Like you have the players nowadays are so athletic and so dynamic, and their skill level is so off the charts that plays like that can happen at the end of the game. And I still can't believe that he caught that. I still can't believe he got the ball off like that. He was able to throw it like that. But that he made that incredible catch after the comeback that the Bills just made, that was an incredible game, incredible performance. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And listen, Kyler Murray's for real, man. Yeah. He's
in real. The MVP conversation. I mean,
you think?
The dude's got 10 rushing touchdowns.
You're going to give him the MVP?
He could possibly get 50 combined touchdowns this year. And I think if that happens...
Are you saying he's better than Mahomes?
I think he's in the conversation.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Right? He's in the conversation. I'm not saying he's going to win it. I'm saying he's in the conversation.
Fair
enough. And, I mean, that's all you could say. And I think Russell Wilson's falling out of it.
Yeah. Well, that defense that they have over there is just brutal.
The last 2 games, I mean, they only scored, 13 against the Rams? I mean, they got stymied there. I
was going to say... I just wanted to talk about this Drew Brees injury for a minute. I don't know if anybody saw that game, but Drew Brees gets sacked, gets up. He doesn't finish the game. Turns out the guy has 5 broken ribs and a punctured lung. And then come to find out today that he might have another set of fractures, like another 2 or 3 sets of ribs that are broken. And the question is, are you going to put him on IR? And again, Tom Brady, the football gods bestow the blessings of football on this guy. So now New Orleans either going with the great Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill. Is it Taysom Hill? Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Taysom Hill's going to be the gadget guy.
Yeah, he's a gadget guy. And look, I mean, I think the team that in that division was the Breeze and the Saints that could have stopped them. And now,
well, let's not forget, Winston got LASIK.
Oh, yeah. That means he'll be able to see the other team when he throws them the ball. That's exactly what that means. But now, man, you got, you're pretty much the division should be Tampa Bay's to win. But that's just like a brutal injury, man. For that guy to keep playing like that. I mean, listen, Breeze needs to start thinking about his family, his kids. IR is the way to go, man, because that's real dangerous to break. I mean, literally, you almost broke your whole rib cage. It's crazy.
What about IR? I retire.
Hey, listen, man. When you get hurt like that,
I mean, come on. I mean, that's nothing small. So, I mean, obviously, we love seeing the guy play, and he's obviously a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he's got a million records, but Tom Brady's probably going to end up breaking them along with Brees.
Yeah, he's gonna be out at least 2 months, man. With that, I mean, he might come back for the playoffs if they make it. But that, I mean, I saw that hit where he got landed on. I was like, geez.
But it is good that they've used Taysom Hill,
yeah,
and they've incorporated him into that offense because now it makes the transition just a little bit smoother than than just throwing Winston out there all alone and the gadget plays. I think it's it helps a little bit. But obviously we're hoping for the best for Drew Brees.
Absolutely.
For his health, his family, and if he's got to retire, he's got to retire.
Yeah, dude, that's dangerous stuff right there. Yeah,
it's just the way it is. So the Giants are very much in the playoff race
at 3-7.
At 3-7, I mean, they're all division wins. I mean, let's be real about it.
Yeah.
2 against Washington, and they just beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who, not for nothing, got all their offensive pieces back this past week and just looked atrocious. And the Giants won 27-17. It was not, Daniel Jones had a touchdown and Wayne Gallman had 2.
Yeah. Well,
so that was. I'm not going to lie. I thought the Giants had a shot in this game, but they just dominated.
Yeah, they won it out. And here's the other thing about Daniel Jones. I didn't realize – I don't know what he ran at the combine, whether it was a 4.5, 4.6, but he looks like he's running 4.2, 4.3 40s out there, man. The kid's got some wheels on him. And if it doesn't work out for him at quarterback, Mike, put him at wide receiver and just let him run, man. I'm dead serious. But, look, he didn't turn the ball over in this game. Right?
That was the biggest thing.
That was the biggest thing. He didn't turn the ball over in this game. Of course,
when I start the Eagles defense in fantasy. Exactly. So that's just the way, the cookie crumbles for me.
And then Joe Judge got aggressive at the end of the game. He knew he had to win the game. He went out and put the ball in the kid's hands, and he made some plays, and they won the game. So good for them. Darius Slayton, he had 5 receptions for 93 yards. So that's a good win for the Giants. It bodes well for them going into next week's game. Are they in a bye next week? No, right? They're playing next week, right? Let me see.
I thought they had a bye.
No, I think you're right. They had a bye. Week 11. Let's just see real quick.
Oh, maybe they do.
Hold on, I want to see. Yeah, I'm not
seeing them on the docket here.
They are. Yeah, they're on a bye. Yeah, I think. Yeah, they're on a bye next week.
Mm-hmm.
And so look, they got a shot to win this division, man. I mean, the way that, if we take a look at the schedule for a second, the way it plays out, I'm curious to see how it plays out for them. We can just break this down real quick here. Look, they're 3-7. They're right behind the Eagles, which leads in the division. They got the Bengals next. The Bengals off a bye. Then they're at Seattle. So at Cincinnati and at Seattle. They're home for the Cardinals. They're home for the Browns. They're at the Ravens, and then home for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, that's, it's a tough schedule.
But it's not difficult because if you think about it, look, the Giants, we know offensively can put up some points. I mean, the Bengals that better than them? I don't know. The Seahawks.
I think the Giants could beat the Bengals. Yeah.
The Seahawks defense is atrocious.
Yeah, but
they're at home. Okay, fair enough. The Cardinals are a good team.
Home. I can't have the Giants winning in Seattle.
Listen,
I'm sorry. That's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, but the Giants can win a division at 6-10, and you get a home playoff game. Think about that for a second.
Unbelievable.
6-10, and you get a home playoff game. How about that? I mean, that's crazy.
Unbelievable.
That's a crazy.
But yeah, they are very much in the playoff race, and we know who's not in the playoff race, and the only race that they should be concerned with is for Trevor Lawrence, the Jets for Trevor Lawrence. But knocking at the door are those pesky Jacksonville Jaguars, who almost beat the Packers this past weekend. Right.
But
it was not a fun game to watch.
No,
for somebody that picked the Packers in a survivor pool. Let me just go out and say that.
Everybody does it too, yeah.
But yeah, the Packers ended up coming out in front, but it was not pretty at all. But they did win 24-20. Obviously, Devontae Adams, played a big part there.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady bounced back in a big way, 46-23 against the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers obviously were down McCaffrey, maybe down McCaffrey one more week. Bridgewater also got knocked out of that game as well. But Antonio Brown looked good. Evans looked good.
Ronald Jones, man, 98-yard
Jones, 98-yard touchdown run is the second best play of the week, next to DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
And Gronkowski looked good. Did he catch 2 touchdowns or 1? 2, I think, right?
Hold on. I think it was 2.
I think he got 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they look like the team that they should look like in this past game. I mean, the field goal against the Saints. I mean, that was just pathetic.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I mean, they came back, and a lot of interesting games. Tua
and Herbert
wins the rookie battle. Number 5 versus number 6 in the draft, and Tua won 29-21. Herbert did not have his best game, but I knew it was going to happen. The Dolphins, it's just too good on defense. They're very pesky on the turnover front of it, and getting the interceptions, the turnovers. So I kind of saw that happening with it being at Miami.
Yeah.
But in Herbert, I trust still.
Yeah, and memo to Christopher Johnson. I mean, you see how once they dumped Adam Gase in Miami, how quickly Miami's turned it around in a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Douglas, I mean, I know he's your buddy, but business is business. You make the move at the end of the season. You're not going to dump him now, obviously. You make the move. You go get yourself a legitimate coach. You go get Trevor Lawrence if he's there, if he comes out of college. And I was reading an article today. I don't know if it was I don't know where I read it. I don't know if it was ESPN or whatever it was. I don't think it was ESPN, but I was on Bleacher Report, and I saw something where whether either Trevor Lawrence might stay at school or might come out to the Jets.
Either way, he's going to end up.
But that poses a dilemma for the Jets. I mean, do you take Jamar Chase from LSU at number 1, or do you draft a quarterback out of Ohio State? Let's say if Trevor Lawrence decides not to come out. I mean, think about it. He had COVID. He just got beat by Notre Dame. I mean, there's a lot going on over there. Oh, wait, did they lose to Notre Dame? Clemson did? I think they did, right?
Yes.
So, he's got a lot to think about. It's not – I don't know that it's a done deal that he comes out of the draft, right? And so, the Jets have a lot to think about coming to the end of the season. But memo again to the ownership of the New York Jets and the general manager. You get rid of Adam Gase, you can turn around real quick. And a lot more rookies are going to play. They just released Pierre Desir, so Bryce Hall is going to get more playing time. Hopefully Mims gets more touches. LaMichael Pirine gets some more touches. Cameron Clark, they bring him up, stick him at left guard and see if he can play. So, let's get this rookie class going and see what we got here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they just get rid of Gase. Just let's just start anew. So I mean, we were talking about running quarterbacks and Herbert and Tua and Kyler. Obviously the reigning MVP of last year, Lamar Jackson, lost in New England.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots, 23-17. And that was a surprise. I did not see that happening. The New England's offense has looked atrocious. And the Ravens defense has looked great. I mean, not for nothing. It's looked great. And that's what's been keeping them in games. Lamar has not looked his best this year. So granted, I could see that. But I mean, what Jacoby Myers threw a touchdown. Rex Burkhead's running for 2. It was interesting to see them take that game.
Well, here's the thing, man. I mean, you get a lead on the Ravens, and the question becomes, can Lamar Jackson lead you back? Can he win it? And that's the thing. And I don't know that he's at that level yet where if he gets behind, if he needs to start throwing the ball, if you can win. And I don't know if he's ever going to get there. I mean, he's a great player, but I don't know if he's going to get to that level yet of can he lead a team back, because he's got questions regarding, throwing the ball down the field. So, but yeah, you're right. I was stunned that the Patriots sort of pulled that one off. But listen, that's why Bill Belichick, you can never underestimate that guy. He always finds a way to win. And right now the Patriots are hanging around up there near the top of the division, just kind of lurking around, waiting for their opportunity to pounce. And don't be surprised if they find a way to pull off this division win, man. It'd be incredible.
Yeah, real quick before we dive into the NBA draft preview. Seahawks are 3.5 against the Cardinals at Seattle.
Man, after what I saw Kyler Murray do, I'm taking the Cardinals and the points.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals too. I'm still debating on whether I want to ride with the Cardinals on a survivor pool. I'm still up in the air on that one because, yes, the momentum is with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson just lost 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
2 games in a row and going home and already lost to the Cardinals. So you got to bank on a Cardinals sweep of the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Off of a very out for blood Russell Wilson. So I don't feel comfortable taking them in Survivor. Let's just say that. However, if I'm picking it on the spread with 3.5 points coming my way, which I think is pretty high, to be honest with you, I would definitely take the field goal they're giving me on the Cardinals.
I just like the way they're playing right now. I do not like Seattle. I do not like Seattle's defense.
Agreed.
Jamal Adams is not playing well over there. I don't care what anybody says. He's not playing well at all. And you got to cover DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald. You got Christian Kirk. You got
Edmonds, Drake.
Right, and then you got Kyler Murray just running all over the field,
who runs for 10 rushing touchdowns already this year.
And then defensively, the Cardinals still haven't figured out what they – yeah.
It's not going to be a cakewalk. I just don't know if I want to bet the ship on it.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I like the Cardinals and the points.
Well, Maddie likes the Broncos to upset the Dolphins this week.
Wow.
Book it, he says. Okay.
Book it. All right.
Go and book it, Matt.
Go and book it at Book It Sports.
Available on iOS and Android. Shameless plug, and we don't get anything for it.
Yeah, just our boys Nick, Trent, and Dave over there.
Just helping out our friends. Nick, Dave, and Nick, Trent, and Dave. Yeah. And we're actually going to have somebody else from Book It Sports join us on Friday night's episode. So stay tuned for that. So NBA draft tomorrow night. So the projections right now are the Timberwolves taking LaMelo Ball, and he's obviously one of the Ball brothers.
Okay.
Speaking of balls, 20% off.
Yes.
Manscaped.com with promo code Fan Experience. I hope Mike's proud because I segued perfectly on that one.
Absolutely, 100%. So I'm here on NBADraft.net, and they are projecting Anthony Edwards, the guard out of Georgia, going number 1.
Okay.
Which is interesting. Full disclosure, I haven't been following up on this a lot. But I think the question for LaMelo Ball is I think he is a top prospect. I think he's going to be great. I think the question is all the stuff that comes with it, the Ball family, and and his old man, what's his name?
Lonzo.
No, Lonzo's the brother.
Yeah.
Can't remember the father's name, but all that comes with the Ball family. Are they going to be able to handle that? Whatever team drafts them is going to be able to handle that. So that's going to be an intriguing story. As far as our local teams go, the Nets don't even need to be involved in the draft. They're looking to trade for James Harden. I mean, they already got.
James Harden declined his option for the.
It was $50 million, right?
$50 million for 2 years. Yeah, and he wants to come and play with Kyrie and Kevin Durant over here in Brooklyn. That's star power. I mean, I don't know.
Man. That's a lot. That's a headache.
Yeah, that's too much.
And you got a new coach with Steve Nash, and they're saying it's going to be a collaboration.
Forgot about that. Yeah, this is Steve Nash.
It's like a collaboration and this and that. Like, wow, man. And it's I don't know. It sounds.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna end up happening. But that is where Harden's wishes are, and that's where his mind is at. but it's just interesting to see how that's going to end up playing out. But yeah, the Knicks. Well, I'm reading the New York Post here, and they're projecting Devin Vassell, strong forward from Florida State, to go to the Knicks with the 8th pick. And they also have
the 38th pick. What do they got going on the 38th pick?
They have the Nets taking Josh Green, strong forward.
The Knicks have the 27th. I'm sorry. They also have the 27th pick.
Yeah. Wing depth is essential for a title contender, especially if the Knicks are going to land James Harden, since it could cost them Karis LeVert. So they're going to try and cut their losses and at least take a replacement for anything trade related if it does happen. I know the Knicks via the Clippers have Trey Jones, point guard from Duke, on the 27th pick.
Okay, here I have them taking.
I only have the first 30 here.
Mannion, and then they have also at 38 they got him taking Reggie Perry out of Mississippi State. So a lot of things going on. There was a rumor out there too that the Knicks might pursue Russell Westbrook. Now that he doesn't want to play at Houston either. Hopefully Leon Rose can right that ship, man, because I'm a diehard Knicks fan and I can't wait to start watching Knicks games again. And I don't want them. I made a bet with 3 people. This is what I did. I made a bet with 3 people last year. This was December. I even remember the date. It was December 14th. I was at a holiday party with a friend of mine, and me with a big mouth go, the Knicks are going to make the playoffs. They're going to go. No, I said they're going to go 500 or something like that. At the time, they were playing well, and then it hit the fan. And so I owe like $20 to like 3 or 4 people out there. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean.
I'm also the same guy who said Sam Darnold was going to lead the Jets to the Super Bowl 3 years.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we thought the same thing with Sanchez, too.
Yeah, I need to stop gambling, Mike. I need to stop with these bold predictions. I just need to stop.
Well, the good thing is if you go on Book It, there's no real money involved. So you could still book your bets, but you don't have to actually lose anything.
Well, we'll talk about it on Friday. Straighten that up.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for episode 35 of the Fan Experience Podcast. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the comments. As always, we will see you Thursday night, same place, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern. We have another great guest in store for you on Thursday night.
Yes, everybody. Tune in. Again, playthefielddating.com and find your MVP. Join the sports community. Sign up.
Yes, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
And here's a word from our sponsors, our producers, Playing the Field.
Do you want to meet other sports enthusiasts like yourself? Playing the Field can help you connect with people who love sports as much as you do. For friendship or romance. You can showcase up to 5 of your favorite teams on your profile trading card to make it easier to find fellow sports fans. Now you can talk about sports, go to the games, or play sports with others who share your interests. Find out more at playthefieldnow.com.